So the characteristics of enzyme. The first characteristic is that all enzymes are protein except ribozyme, which is a nucleic acid, means it is RNA with catalytic power. Okay. The second point is that all enzymes are the colloidal substance. You know, colloidal substance means we can say semi-solid. They are made up of macromolecules, obviously tertiary structure of protein, so that's why we call as protein are the macromolecule, which are further made up of amino acid, and amino acid are the micromolecule and synthesized by ribosome under the genome, under the genetic control. Okay. Next point. NCERT says enzymes can be depicted by line diagram, and this line diagram means we can depict its activity, its catalytic power in the in the graphical manner, in the graphs, in the what we can say, in the line diagram. Here line diagram means pictorial diagram, like we have a graph, like we have the rate of reaction, how it is increasing, how it is decreasing, how they depends on temperature, how they depends on pH, how they depends on substrate. So we can plot the graph of its activity, of the activity of enzyme. That's why NCERT says enzymes can be depicted by line diagram. Okay. So we can say the enzymes can be of any protein which are having of primary structure, secondary structure and tertiary structure as well as quaternary structure. But as I earlier told you that most of the enzymes are the tertiary structure having catalytic power, and they have active sites where the substrate binds. So enzyme must have a active site. If there is no active site, so there is no binding of substrate to the enzyme. Okay. So enzyme is any protein that may have, first one, the primary structure, the primary protein. It is the linear protein, but it has no active site. In next, the secondary structure, or we can say secondary protein. It is a helical structure, like rotated ladder in just like buildings. It has also no active site. No active site. In next, the this enzyme is any protein, and that protein may have tertiary structure. Most of enzyme is of tertiary structure, are having a tertiary structure protein, and they have active site. They have active site. And the fourth one is the quaternary structure. Basically these quaternary structure enzyme mostly represented by isoenzyme, which is not in our syllabus. Isoenzyme is something which are of having just like isomers, having different forms. So enzymes of having many forms and perform same kind of reaction, that is basically isoenzyme. They also have active site. Active site. So these are the characteristics of enzyme. And the quaternary structure, the 4-degree structure is basically, for example, we have hemoglobin, like in a globular protein, and the tertiary structure is the globular structure. Okay. And the quaternary structure is the just like we have 4 molecules like hemoglobin. It is the quaternary structure, 4-degree structure. Okay. So we have the next category. In next characteristic is that enzyme must have active sites. Active sites are something just like pocket, or we can say cerevisies or pockets. on which the substrate fits, just like key and lock and key. You can understand that enzyme is the lock and key is the substrate. Okay. In next category is the catalytic power. How much enzyme are catalytic and how they are powerful. As I earlier told you, the power of formation of number of molecules, like carbonic anhydrase, the fastest enzyme. Why? Since it is the enzyme which are having highest rate of molecule formation, that is 6 lakh molecule per second. It the solution that as I told you, that is lysozyme, 30 molecule per minute. Very difference in the rate of formation of molecule. So catalytic power depends on two factors. First one is turnover number, and the second one is the Km. Km is the Michaelis and Menten constant. Michaelis and Menten constant. The enzyme having higher turnover will have higher catalytic power, more catalytic power. So we can say catalytic power is directly proportional to turnover number of the enzyme. In next, we have Km. Km is something. It is a substrate concentration at which, first of all, we must know every reaction will proceed with certain speed. Means if we specify the direction and set it says, we can call it the velocity. Means velocity of reaction. So every reaction has its own speed, has its own velocity. It means that every reaction will have their maximum velocity, maximum speed of reaction, maximum rate of reaction, maximum velocity of reaction. So Km tells us that Km is that concentration of substrate where it becomes half of its maximum velocity. For example, if we plot a graph, here we have substrate concentration and here we have progress of reaction. Okay. So when we increase the substrate, the concentration of substrate, the rate of reaction increases, and further, and in later on it becomes constant. So this line is the progress of reaction. So at this point it becomes constant. So this will be the Vmax, maximum velocity of the reaction, means maximum rate of reaction. So this S tells us the progress of reaction, that substrate concentration where the where we have the progression of reaction is basically the speed of reaction is basically half of Vmax, means maximum velocity is at this concentration. Let's say at this point we can say S dash, this is the substrate concentration where the rate of reaction, the speed of reaction, it becomes half of Vmax, means half of the maximum velocity, maximum rate of reaction, that is basically Km, and the catalytic power of a enzyme. One question is for you, that let me know, it is easy to get this Vmax, half of Vmax earlier, means initial stage. It means that the Vmax will be earlier phase in just like here we have got this point, we got this point, but when Km is lower, it means that the rate of reaction is very fast. So we can say this catalytic power is inversely proportional to Km. Means enzyme like carbonic anhydrase are having more catalytic power, means they will have less Km, means lesser substrate concentration, at which the speed of reaction, the progress of reaction becomes half of Vmax, half of its maximum velocity. This is the characteristics. One more thing, one more characteristic is that we have active and inactive form of enzyme. Basically, whenever the enzyme is working, they are in active form. Whenever they are in, the enzymes are not working, they are in inactive form. Like we have pepsinogen, it is the inactive form of pepsin. Like we have what I told you, pepsinogen, it is the inactive form of pepsin. Similarly, we have trypsinogen, the inactive form of trypsin. So the enzymes inside the living system and outside the living system, their catalytic power remains same. Okay, so these are the characteristics of enzyme that we must know. And we have active sites, and the active sites are the pockets on which the substrate binds. Okay, so in next one more thing I need to tell you that the difference between biocatalyst and the organic biocatalyst and the inorganic catalyst. Inorganic catalyst, inorganic catalyst, and this side bio, we can say organic biocatalyst, organic biocatalyst, catalyst. So the major difference is that the enzyme, the catalyst in organic catalyst, it will work independently of temperature. It will not affect the temperature cannot affect the catalytic power of inorganic catalyst, since they are occurring in the non-living system, and it doesn't matter what is the temperature. But in case of organic biocatalyst, or we can say bioorganic catalyst, they work in a narrow range of temperature. What I said, narrow range of temperature, narrow range of narrow range of temperature. Commonly I can say, we can say that narrow range means they works in narrow range of conditions, and this narrow range of condition we call it as optimum condition, optimum condition. Similarly, these enzymes may work in at any enzyme, like you must have heard about the organic reaction occurring at 700 degrees Celsius or 1000 degrees Celsius, or whatever be the reaction in the laboratory, or in the factories or in the industries. But in case of living system, the enzymes are basically made of protein, and mostly it is tertiary. At high temperature, it will their brains will broken down, so the protein will degrade it. Their structure will not will be same as the earlier, like the tertiary one. They will become tertiary, they will become primary, or the amino acid they separated into their fragments like amino acids. So what will happen, that it require optimum condition, and in optimum condition it may be optimum temperature, optimum pH. In these conditions they work efficiently. Below, they will their catalytic activity decreases. At more than this, their catalytic activity also decreases. Okay, so we can say there is one more exception, and the optimum condition, optimum temperature is that the protein denatures more than 40 degrees Celsius temperature. They work efficiently below 40, and the best temperature is the 20 to 40 degrees Celsius. But they can be active in between 0 to 40 degrees Celsius, but the maximum efficiency is the 20 to 40 degrees Celsius. Okay, below that the temperature will the enzyme will become inactive, means the rate of reaction will decrease, their catalytic power decrease. If we increase the pH or the temperature, their catalytic power also decreases. Okay, this is all about the organic biocatalyst and the inorganic catalyst and the characters of enzyme. Okay, and one more thing, in organic biocatalyst we have one exception. The exception is that there are certain thermophilic bacteria, which are the archaebacteria, which lives in open vents, or we can say we have thermal springs where there is high temperature, there is high pH. We have acidophilic bacteria, we have halophiles, we have acidophiles, we have many more bacteria, no? So they live in harsh climatic condition, harsh habitat. So they have the mechanism to survive at high temperature. So these bacteria can survive up to 80 to 90 degrees Celsius. Like we have an enzyme Taq polymerase that you will study in class 12th, that is the biotechnology chapters. Okay, thank you.